Post-race recap, Bank Windhoek Red Run 2025. Training as far as strength and conditioning that I had for this was more functional. I had some band work that I had no plyometrics training here. Okay, maybe there was some plyometrics like jumping exercises that were kind of factored into some of the workouts that I was doing. But then, yeah, it was more functional and running specific. I was rebuilding coming off of a foot injury. So I had some kind of stress fracture in my foot. And from there, I had to rebuild endurance, and then I also had to rebuild speed. So here, easy runs were more so in the high zone 2, early zone 3 stages. And then obviously, which means basically like I was in like a tempo, I was doing tempo runs basically most of the time. And then I would have, pickups in the long run. So as you normally do long runs, you're kind of doing them at kind of like a race pace, but maybe just moving a little bit faster on certain stages of that long run, which was quite fun. I really, really enjoyed that. It was quite intense, and I think there was certain things that I could have done better as far as nutrition, because the energy levels were quite, I had some challenges with energy levels there, man. I'd also caught the flu during that time, and I also suffered like a little bit of exhaustion. That was not a good time, but we prevailed. So the race strategy was pretty simple. I wanted to do a sub 2-hour half marathon with an average pace of 5:40 or faster. But it couldn't just be that from the onslaught, right? So I had to work it in. I had to kind of settle into that zone, slow build up. So I spent so if we can look at the data, we spent the first 7 kilometers in a 6-minute pace. And that just allowed me to kind of just build it up and then fall into the 5:40 zone from 8 kilometers up. And obviously during this run, I had discovered that, we were on Black Mamba and that there were rolling hills during this course. I was under the impression that it was just going to be a gradual incline. Mind you, this is the first time I'm running Black Mamba, so yeah, you can imagine. But the strategy, as you see it here in the data, it's the strategy I was able to maintain it through and through. I just had to make adjustments here and there because of the uphills that were presented to me in the run. And I did pretty well, as you see here, from kilometer 8 all the way down, save the uphills. I kept it at 5:40 or faster, and then it was just a 6-minute. I think the slowest pace I had here was 6:35, and that was because of that 11K, the halfway point. I think for those that ran that one, you saw how steep that incline was. And in any case, the idea that was it. From the 5K mark, as per strategy, from the 5K mark all the way up to the 15K mark was really just a steady zone, and to just keep it going. And if I needed to slow down, if I needed to slow down, I would slow down but not stop. And the same would be for water points. I would just grab and go, and take gels every 5 kilometers, which worked out excellent. And then of course sending it as fast as I could on the backstretch, 5 to 6 kilometers left in the run. And what was cool about, well, not cool actually, the mistake. So this was also the strategy when it came to the water points. Obviously people are running straight and they're running as close as they can to, and some of the people are like crossing the road and so on to get to the water point. So you would kind of get like this like huddle around the water point. So my idea here was to call for water as early as possible and then get the water on the outside. Now on the back stretch, I don't know why I did it, but I went through the huddle and got the water there, and I had to do this type of jigger, man, where, and of course my muscles, like, they're on the verge of pulling at this point, right? Because I'm now moving as fast as I can. and I do this jigger to like get around this person, and my big toe starts to cramp up. And you'll see it. You'll see it. I start slowing down. No, man. Okay, you won't obviously see it here because this is a split, but the moving time slowed down because I had to now kind of readjust and have this kind of breathing exercise to get oxygen down to that foot so that it could stretch out. So there were surprises and so on that I was presented with during this run, man. But I was able to kind of manage and get through unscathed. So just some quick fire race stats. The finishing time was 2 hours and 41 seconds. Average pace 5:44, for 4 seconds more than what I had strategized. Elevation gain 241 meters. Average heart rate 174. Strongest finish on the back stretch, which I really loved, except for that little mess up there. So it's obvious, because I didn't get this goal of sub 2 hours, I'm gonna look for another half marathon and practice this thing. Hopefully it'll be a flat one, a flat course, so I can just finish it in the time that I want. So a few things are gonna change here moving forward. The goal is still gonna be the same. I'm gonna go for that sub 2 hour half marathon. The strength training is gonna stay the same. Functional work, I'm gonna do the fascia training as well. So I'm gonna incorporate more band work and these kinds of exercises, banded drills. I'm gonna do a lot more core work as well. I feel like my core, there's room for more engagement as far as my core is concerned. So I'm gonna do a little bit of work there. And then I'm going to reintroduce plyometrics into the workout regimen. So your jumping exercises. I'm sure you've seen me do some of these things, and I swear by it. I swear by it. And then of course running. The strategy there as far as training is concerned is really just to get into the more tempo work. So doing your tempos, doing fartlek runs, and then also hill sessions, so that I can just get my hill running up to par as well. Yeah, and then the nutrition is obviously something that is always fine-tuned based on the data that I get there. But one thing's for sure, I've been using 32 GI, this Endure carb mix, and then also the high intensity little gel packs. Very great delivery, sustained energy. Really enjoy the output coming out of those products there. I understand that there's a feeding guide, so I'd want to kind of understand that as well. Usually I take 2 scoops of the Endure. I'm pointing at it because it's there in my kitchen, but yes, 2 scoops of the Endure carb mix at 87 kilograms. I don't know whether that's actually efficient, for the kind of output that I would now, for example, need weighing as much as I do, right? So I would actually want to dial in on that and just make sure that I'm fueled properly for the training and the racing that I'm going to be doing in the near future. So I hope this was informative. This is the first time I've ever kind of done recaps in this way. I look forward to identifying the next race that I'll be doing and then training as such or accordingly then for that run. So thanks for your time, and follow for more.